says this, that God said to the earth, let earth bring forth things. And then this is what happened. The earth started to produce things like trees, plants. Trees and plants came from the earth. The earth produced them. And watch this. Trees, plants, flowers cannot live without the earth. They don't go into the earth on the weekends. They live in the earth 24/7. They don't go into the earth like an iPhone with a charger anytime they're depleted. They live and move by the earth, and if you pull them from the earth, they die. Then the scripture says in verse 20, God speaks to the water and says, water, you produce the fish and the watery creatures. And guess what happened? The water made fish. And because the water brought forth fish, fish need the water to live, and without the water, they die. Then God says to Himself, as He spoke to the earth, as He spoke to the water, then He turns and He says to Himself, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. And God produced a man out of His own breath. Why? So that the same way trees depend on the soil, water depends on the fish depends on the water, man, because he came from God, will depend on God. For those of you who are educated above your obedience, who have more degrees than a thermometer, who already have reached such a height of intellectualism and embraced the religion of atheism, and who believe that you don't need God, if you think you don't need God, I think your goldfish does not need water. The trees in your backyard do not need the ground. Pull them out and see what happens. That's exactly what happens to you spiritually. God created first the plants world, and then He created the fish world to demonstrate to us, in case we ever get so smart, in case some kind of a guy who has a PhD behind his name in a university, whose marriage has collapsed and he remarried 5 times, whose finances are down, who drinks during the weekends and watches porn, and he tells you that there is no God, in case that poison comes into your mind, that you can look at the fish and you can look at the trees and be reminded, they came from the ground, they came from the water, my spirit came from God, I need God.